Hello, and welcome to the first devlog out of the many that I hope to do, unless I completely forget, and then I'll hate myself. So I'm tired and ill right now, so this is not really going to be that interesting or good at all. My brain is dead and fried, so I have no idea what I'm going to be saying. I probably will die halfway through. But from what I know, the premise is I've got to explain what I've done and show some stuff off since it's a video. So I'm going to try and edit that together and hopefully it'll be good. Now, anyway, so this kind of is made up of footage from a couple of days in a row. Some days I didn't really do any work. Most recently I haven't done anything really during college and stuff because I've literally been dying the entire time, and today I've kind of just fully kicked the bucket. So considering the fact that this chair is right next to my bed that I'm in right now, it means that if I die inside I just have a bed to go and jump onto. Anyway, so we're going to start off with the fact that I have done my project, what's it called, project concept thing that I forgot the name of, the thing that we had to write at the start, proposal, that's it. I've done that. I've basically done it like 3 times now. And, well, I've not done it completely 3 times. I've done it once full, and then another time I completely rewrote the project concept and added a stretch goals thing, because half the stuff I said I didn't clarify that it was stretch goals and I wasn't expecting to do them. And then I basically added some more to the project concept to kind of explain that I didn't want to use the entire level if I didn't have time, so the level design I have won't be expected to be fully complete, just an area that I can test things in and have some places to go to. So it would mainly be the house that I concentrate on, and probably the left hand side wing where it's got the main giant hall area, and then bits where the dining room and then the garages and the weird workshop thing and stuff like that. So then I'd have to basically try and use some trickery or whatever for outside to be displayed as something maybe, or just not display anything outside, just so it makes sense. So I basically, as well with that, the level itself, I made 3 iterations of the level design. The first one I didn't complete because I realised I messed it up badly. Second one I did complete, and then it turned out I messed that one up and made it too much like a regular house. So I made it a 3rd time, and this time I feel much happier with it, although the problem is that when I start making it in the engine, everything is abnormally big, but oddly enough it suits the purpose. And obviously level design, it counts about making the level work with the gameplay rather than the gameplay work with the level, which is how it's supposed to be. So if I make a thing that's full with massive areas, and my game is quite fast and you're running around killing things, it makes sense to make the area a massive thing, and people would not be fully confused because they'll be running around in it at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, so they'd basically be able to tell no difference between that and a regular house. Kind of. I've also basically I failed miserably at trying to model the level itself a few times when I got the 3rd iteration, mainly because I accidentally kept breaking things, and I was trying to model it in Maya when I generally should have just modeled the floor and the main area bits in UE4, which I've done now. I don't know how many times I tried doing it in Maya, but there's probably some footage of my failure, since I'm not actually viewing anything right now while I'm doing this, I'm just talking. But basically now I've got the level in UE4, I've made it out of the floors out of BSPs so that everything's a lot easier to work with, and I can make cracks and holes in the ground with ease because I could just make shapes with the BSPs and shove it into areas and then make the BSPs that I've made what's it called? A subtract BSP, so then it kind of just deletes the area that I've got the BSP in, allowing me to have a hole in the ground, of which then I can make an underground area with rubble textures in it, which I've done, so that I can have a nice little bit of hole in the floor, and then I've basically filled those in with planks of wood, although they're white cubes at the moment because I haven't modeled planks of wood because I didn't really care about that at the time. I was just trying to get some stuff done. There's also the added fact that I've added fog in, which I had to figure out how to do, and I was searching up how to do it on what's it called? And the UE4 documentation, and apparently exponential height fog is what I wanted, and it worked fine. Not exactly how I imagined it, but then it's the whole fact that that sort of fog thing I wanted to go for in my head was more for a completely different level, and the level I was working on wasn't going to have fog, but I've kind of grown attached to it, oddly enough. But obviously when I start putting in the walls, which I've also started modelling, I'm doing a modular design so I can like place as many walls as I want in with certain texture, or just change the texture whenever I need to, so then I don't have to moan about having just annoyances of modelling the entire area in Maya every time and realising things don't work. Modular design is probably the best idea as well, and it just means I'm more inclined to play around with loading areas and unloading areas, which I plan on doing. A lot of the base mechanics I wanted to put in I haven't done yet. For example, there's the whole boot down the door thing. I haven't put that in because I don't even have doors at the moment. I have no walls. I just have an area with a levitating platform and two hexagonal things which are not actually supposed to be there. They're going to be replaced with a pillar at some point. And the walls, once I've got them done, they'll be in and stuff like that. I've got to do windows as well, but I've got to figure out how I want to do the windows, because at the moment I'm in a mixture between making the windows see-through or making the windows not see-through and doing some tricks to make it seem like they are, but they're just massively dusted over. But I'm more inclined to go for the see-through thing just because I want people to see outside. Although it does mean that I'm going to have to try and do some stuff with loading areas of the outside and stuff like that when I need them and when I don't need them. So say for example I set up a boss fight, which is what I want to do. I want boss fights, but that's a stretch goal because enemy AI is what I need to focus on first, and once I've got that down I can then do boss fights and stuff by expanding upon the enemies I've already got. So yeah, I've got to figure out that and loading, and so I can, like, when a boss fight comes along, remove everything that you don't see so the boss fight runs smoothly, and just lock in that area so then the player can't escape and they're able to fight enemies perfectly fine without any problems. Then I've got a HUD in. HUD doesn't work at the moment because I haven't fully set up the health system, at least. Actually no, I have set up the health system, I just haven't combined it with the whole what's it called, the HUD yet. I've got a damage thing I've got to sort out as well, where the screen will flash red whenever you get hit, just because I think that's a good idea, just so the player's indicated that they're being hit. And then when I get audio stuff I can add like a hurt sound or whatever. There's also another thing I've added that I've got crouching, I've got basic movement. I built it all from scratch, and then I realised I had no idea how to make the character move correctly, and as much as I tried to guess, and I was like, oh, how about I do it this way, I decided not to do it that way, because I was like, I don't know how to do the math. So then I searched it up, and it turned out the way I was thinking would have worked, and if I tried it, I would have done it myself and seemed like a massive genius, although there's a slight thing in me that's making me think I remembered it from looking at the code from the first-person blueprint so much, since first-person sort of blueprint to go into. Obviously as well I've got jumping, because that's pretty simple to add in. I've tried to make jumping have like more maneuverability, so you can actually easily like move around in the air and stuff like that and gain control. But one problem I have is that whenever you land on the floor and try and jump, it has like some sort of delay that I just want to get rid of, but I don't know how to do it, and there's a high chance that if I want to do jumping completely custom and work the way I want it to, there's a high chance I will have to basically make my own jump thing if I can't figure out how to do it. But at the moment I don't particularly care, because I want to set bunny hopping and strafe jumping as a stretch goal, because it seems quite out there. Same with crouch sliding, which I want to do. That's also a stretch goal for me, but when I have time I'll figure out how to do them. I think that's basically all I've done so far, apart from I've done some research as well by looking into inspiration from Dusk and Resident Evil and explaining that in my inspiration thing. I've looked at tutorials on things that I wanted to learn about and I was interested in, so that's at the moment just been decals. Because I think that would be a good idea for me, so then I can learn how to do simple things, so I don't have to texture all the little bits that are onto things to make things unique and stuff. I can, if I want a blood splatter, just slap a texture into decal, slap it on the wall with the decal thing, and oh, look at that, I've got a texture on the wall, wow, interesting. Same with paintings and stuff like that, but I think I want to model the paintings, if anything, so they kind of look like they're coming off the wall rather than a flat poster that's just been slapped on the wall. Although if I did have posters, which I'm thinking maybe I might, then I would use a decal. There's also things like muck on the walls and stuff like that, and all those sorts of things. So I want to try and do things like that and have some like cool like stuff going on, but that is all art stuff, so it's not necessarily needed, it's just something I want to do, so once again another stretch goal. But that is generally all I've done so far with the project, and hopefully things will work out and I will be able to do most of the stretch goals I want, and so forth. But because of the state I'm in at the moment, my brain doesn't function, so I'm not going to be doing any programming today, which I'll put up on the next development log thing. What I'm going to do instead is art stuff, and probably finish off the walls and maybe make some textures and probably build out the level more, so I haven't just got that one singular area. And hopefully I'll get somewhere with that. I'm hoping I can get loads of modelling done really quickly today, because that's all I'm going to be focusing on, because my brain is fried, so thinking is not something I need when I'm modelling stuff, it's just all off instincts really. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up before I go on a rant about just stuff I want to do, because literally all I'm going to be doing is modelling and stuff next, and on that I'll obviously talk about what I'll do afterwards if I feel any better and don't feel like I'm dying inside. Anyway, see you in the next one. Goodbye.